have decided that we are on the highest timeline for the good of all humanity. We are on the Ascension Paradise timeline. I don't know how this happens, for I give that part over to God completely. I just know that it happens because I have decided that it is happening. Hi everyone, Therese here. I hope you're having a fabulous week. Well, energy is ramping up again. We got the Schumann going up. We've got a new moon at the end of this week on Sunday in Leo. And the Lion's Gate is opening on the same exact day. So Sunday in the United States is August 8th. 8/8 is the portal opening of the Lion's Gate. So this is when our sun perfectly aligns with the sun of Sirius and creates a spiritual connection. It's like, as I understand it, we have that central sun, which would represent the universal life force, which is streaming, it's condensing its energy, right? We can't take the full force of source energy. If it were coming at us, it would just like be too much energy. And so we have different heavenly bodies, different planets that help, stars and planets that help to step the might of this energy down so that we can handle what comes in. So we've got the central sun, which is streaming through different heavenly bodies, including Sirius. Sirius acts as a spiritual sun for us, and it streams, it compresses the energy coming in through the central sun, it streams it so it can come in through our sun. Our sun then streams it out to the other planets, which help to stream it even further. So each planet takes a dose and streams it down for the next planet over. So I believe it goes to our sun and then to Venus, and Venus streams it down for the Earth. And it kind of works like that there's these streams that come in. It's so beautiful. So when the Lion's Gate opens, we get this beautiful alignment between our sun and the sun of Sirius, the star of Sirius, which again is that spiritual sun connection. When this happens, there is an uptick in the stream, if you will. It's like the flow widens just that little bit more, allowing for high levels of energetic data to come through and download. This has an effect on us biologically, it has an effect on us energetically for sure, and most definitely it has an effect on us spiritually. So we're all sort of we're dilating in a way to expand, to receive more of this data that's coming through at this time. And what makes this so incredible is that the rotation of our galaxy at this time is moving through an even more dense, it's like a cosmic cloud of energy. So if you can imagine, our little solar system is rotating, but our galaxy that the solar system lives in is also on a type of like elliptical rotation as well. So it's just, every time I see it, it's like spinning gears is the way that the universe shows me. It's just this beautiful swirling vortex, and they're like pools within pools spinning. So what makes this beautiful is, like, as we're moving through this cloud, we're already intensifying. We're already more dilated than before. And now with this energy coming through, we dilate even more. This means that there is attunement of your psychic senses, right? So your dreams are becoming more vivid. Your ability to see within your mind's eye, your psychic hearing, your, the taste, the smell, everything is heightening, and you're getting more information through your physical senses, because your non-physical senses, which are the counterpart on the other side in that non-physical space, these are heightening and tuning up and getting stronger, so that the information between the physical and the non-physical is more intense and more direct connect. It's a really direct connect. So even if you weren't paying attention and you had no idea what was going on right now, spiritually and cosmically, doesn't matter. You're getting a dose. You're dilating. You're opening up. things are tuning in more for you. But when you are paying attention and you are intending to consciously align with the universe, wow. I mean, so many big downloads, so much reactivation of maybe even distant memory from other lifetimes, other places coming on board. We're doing a lot of work in our non-physical astral body at this time, so most of us feel just exhausted when we're awake because we've been working. We're working all the time right now, and it's an intense period of time where this is all coming through. And this year, it's landing on the new moon in Leo, right? So we're really getting this receiving portal opening. I mean, the new moon is all about what are you creating? What are you going to take in? And the fact that this portal fully opens on the day where the moon starts over and the bowl, if you will, is empty for receiving. Oh, so much is going to come through. I am so excited about it. And that reminds me that there is a spirit circle that day as well. So if this is exciting to you, if you want to learn more, if you want to see what's coming in, please join me at the spirit circle. You can go to this link right here and join us on Sunday, August 8th in the United States, and Monday the 9th everywhere else. And we will be working on manifesting what we're calling in, doing the healing work, allowing channeled messages to come through, and of course we always do psychic Q&A at the end. So again, if you'd like to join the next spirit circle, here is the link for you. You can join pretty much any day between now, when this is recorded, which is August 4th, all the way up until the 8th, just a few hours before. If you're just not sure or you're just seeing this, yes, you can still sign up and join us. And you get the recording, which might be really important this time because so much heavy, dense, intuitive information wants to come through. So I hope to see you there. I started today's vlog. I shared with you my higher timeline mantra that I say, I used to say it like 3 times a day when I really needed something to focus my mind on. Now I intend it more, but it's like silently running. I've said it so many times, it's silently running. And I want to bring up why I brought that up and talk you through what that looks like and how it works. Because today, I want to talk to you more about your conscious mind. So I talked to you a lot about your subconscious mind and your higher consciousness. But let's talk today about our conscious mind. Sometimes I feel like I give the conscious mind a hard time because it's really out of our other mental energy centers. It's really the most limited, but of course it's necessary. So we should honor that. But I wanted to start today by giving you a visual so we understand what we're working with. There, no shame, subconscious mind. You do you, and we appreciate you. We need you. You help us know what we're focusing on. But I want to share with you a quick visual of what we're working with, okay? So I'm giving you a visual representation of what your subconscious mind sort of looks like in terms of what it can hold. So here it is. Isn't this cute? I mean, it's cute. That's a cute little cup or a little bowl. So this would represent your subconscious mind. And just to give you contrast and clarity, this represents your conscious mind. I mean, look at that. It's so much, It's a lot. Your subconscious mind, in comparison, what you can hold. And I want to show this to you because I sometimes think that we're mistakenly hard on ourselves for not being able to hold everything we keep trying to program in. And if you're watching this, you're probably a person who does a lot of personal growth work, a lot of spiritual work, and you are earnestly trying to program in everything you want to create in life. And kudos to you for doing it. But I want to show you what you're trying to program it into. Okay? It's in here. By the way, everything you're doing is going right in here immediately, fully absorbed. It's caught. You got it. It's deep in there. Okay, so none of your work is in vain. But this little guy can only hold so much information at a time. And this is where we have to become consciously aware of what our brain is doing at any given moment. Because if we're not, if we're thinking like, I put the information in there, my consciousness knows what to do. No, it can't hold that. It gets dumped back into your subconscious mind. The consciousness can only hold on to what you are thinking about. It doesn't have your intended thoughts on reserve. Okay? No, there's no room for it. So I want to play a quick game with you to just prove this. I want to prove to you how much your conscious mind can hold. And it's limited. So here's the game. I am going to read to you a string of numbers, and I want you to do your best to try and remember every one of them. Okay? So I'm going to read to you the string. I'll do it a couple times, and we'll see how much we can remember. And good luck to all of us. I'll do this too. Here we go. Ready? 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 3, 5, 9. How much did you remember? Okay, let's try it again. Let's do it again. I'll see what I can remember. 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 3, 5, 9. Okay, let's see what I can remember. 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. I cheated. I was like between 5 and 3. I wasn't sure. Let me try again. Okay, I'll read it one more time for us, and then I'm going to try and listen and read. 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 3, 5, 9. 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 3, 4. Oh no. No, see? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 numbers. That's it. I mean, somebody who has like a really highly absorbent sponge of a conscious mind might hold more of that information, and someone who is a genius with numbers could hold even more than that. But it's not a lot, right? Already. And it's, sometimes, yes, memory can kick in, of course, if it's attached to a memory or attached to a feeling. Yes, it's easier to remember more data. But that's just my point, is that our beautiful little consciousness can only hold so much information. And I bring this up because that means we have to make a choice about what we're thinking about, right? I've been talking to you a lot about understanding that your subconscious mind is the creator, and your consciousness or your super consciousness or your ego or your higher self is impressing upon your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind will help it create. But if this consciousness, right, so first of all, we don't really get to leave consciousness. We get to meditate, transcend, but these take effort and practice. When you're not using effort and practice, this thing turns right back on, and it's doing what it does, right? It's about survival, stay alive, give me food. That's not fair. Logic, right? All of these things. So even though our subconscious mind is what's creating, we need this to work with also the higher mind, right? Which is when we're taking that break to connect in. This is a default mode, this consciousness. And as I've just proven, it can only hold so much data. So if this consciousness is kind of like a child unsupervised, it's going to get you into trouble. It's going to run around and make a mess because it's going to be thinking those default thoughts. It's going to be thinking about what it's afraid of, what does it have to protect itself from, who's threatening it. These are the default thoughts of this little subconscious mind. And you can see that if you're having all those thoughts, the bowl's pretty full because there's not a lot of space. So what we're being asked by the team this week is to really think about, one, you got to make more conscious choices about what you're thinking about. There's a lot in this world right now as we're going through the detox process, right? We're in fourth density. It's highly polarizing. We get to see the playing field. We get to see how things operate. It's like, this is how sausage is made. It's kind of disgusting and horrible, right? And of course, there's a lot of fear being injected into the outside world about this, that, and the other thing. So, and that's not by design. It's by design to keep this busy. Because if this is busy, freaking out, right? If your consciousness is full and busy and freaking out and terrified about its own survival, are you going to remember what you're creating? Are you going to remember you're a sovereign being who does create? Or are you going to be panicking and, excessively buying toilet paper because God only knows what happens, right? Do you see how it's designed? Do you see it now that it's playing out and there's really this whole push? It's a push with fear to keep this little guy busy. And if this little guy is busy, you're not going to have that moment to stop and think about, breathe in, breathe out. I'm the creator of my own reality. What timeline do I want to be on? I choose this timeline. No, you're going to be freaking out at the one that's presented because the default running program of our consciousness is survival. So I wanted to share earlier with you my higher timeline mantra. And I want to break it down how it works. Okay, so I start with, I have decided. So this is a very strong statement. When we decide something, we bring it into 0 point energy. We're saying, look, I've moved all these options away and all these options away, and I'm choosing consciously this one. So much so that I've decisively chosen. So I have decided. And then I choose what I want. We are on the highest timeline. I'm not taking anything less than the very best, right? So we're on the highest timeline for the good of all humanity because I am focused on service to others. So we've got to include everybody. I have decided that we are on the highest timeline for the good of all humanity, and it's happening when? Now. And it's happening now, not someday when this is all taken care of. No, right now. We're all there now. So whatever plays out now is what's playing out for the highest good of all humanity. And then I go in and I clarify even more, and I say we are on the Ascension Paradise timeline because there is a mirror twin to that timeline. It's called the Apocalypse timeline. And that is sort of a descension, breaking down into absolute chaos, right? And I am not on that. There is one that will play out, but we do not have to experience it at all. We can bypass it completely. So again, I clarify, we are on the Ascension Paradise timeline. That means we're going up in energy and things evolve into their higher form. And then I make a very powerful statement, which is I am clear that I am choosing this, but I also let go and let God, the universe, source do its thing. Because I would never assume that this, that this little thing has the answers or knows the how. It does not. So I acknowledge a higher power and recognize that all I have to say is I have to choose what I want. It's like turning the channel on a TV. This is the station this is the show I'm going to watch, right? So I've clicked onto it. I'm going to let the universe run the show. They're going to show me how. I'm just going to choose what I watch, right? I don't know how this is happening, for I give that part over to God completely. I just know it is happening because I have decided it is happening. That's the mantra. And then you can say, thank you, I appreciate it, gratitude, love, you're doing a great job, keep it up. Like you can add to it. But I bring this to you because this is how I have been. I keep putting this down. I should just keep holding on to it because it's such a good little visual. But this is how I have been priming my consciousness to get clear. And it does take effort at first. I said it morning, I said it at night, waking up, going to bed. When I started to feel freaked out or nervous, I chose it again. And I continue to do it like that until it's just I'm brushing my teeth and it starts coming in, right? I'm at the grocery store and I feel energy coming up and I just say, no, we're all in the highest timeline for the good of all humanity and it's happening now, right? And it now just flows through me and it allows me to get consciously aware of who's in here and how much space it's taking up. So that once I've said that, then I know my job is to focus on consciously what I'm trying to create. How am I preparing to win? How good is it going to be, right? You have to take that inspired next step where you're like, yes, I get it. I've chosen this. This is what I do next because things are working out for all of us, right? So let's give our conscious mind some love and remember that it can only hold a small amount of data at a time, and we're going to lovingly supervise it and make sure that the data it's holding is the data we want to focus on. Those who are new to karma cards, let me quickly show you how they work. We have 3 decks here: the planets, signs of the zodiac, and the houses of astrology. And I've already asked my team what is the message for this week, and I've got 2 sets of answers that come up, one set in red, which are action related answers, and one set in blue, which are outcome related answers. And all you have to do is tune in energetically and feel what do you need right now? Do you need intuitive actions to take, or do you want to know how something's going to resolve within the next week? And of course, you can always choose both. While you're choosing, let me tell you the timing for this reading. This reading is for August 4th through August 11th. So the Lion's Gate will open during this reading. And the flavor of this reading, we have dreamy, spiritual Neptune, one of the planets retrograding in this spiritual cleanup window, in the direct sign of Aries, in the 11th house of the future hopes, wishes, and friends. And this is ruled by Aquarius. So again, we've got Aquarian energy floating around in this reading. For those who are choosing action, your spiritual action is to inspire others with your willpower for humanity's sake. Kaboom! I love it when they do that. That's literally what we're talking about here. Being a supervisor to what's going on in our consciousness is a form of willpower. And it is for the good of humanity. When you are paying attention to what's going on up here, that is a service to others action. It most definitely is. Because what do we need? What do we need to manifest it? We need the energy and intention, right? We need consciousness to help raise the frequency. Every time one of us raises our frequency and consciousness, we affect the area around us. So you bet you're doing something for the good of all beings when you're paying attention to what's going on up here. And according to the cards, that's inspirational. Someone's going to feel, notice, sense what you're doing. Mental action at this time. Be prepared to sacrifice for what you think you know about your hopes and wishes. All right. So sacrifice for, again, be prepared to sacrifice for. So in a spiritual sense, what it's talking about is sometimes in order to raise something up higher, you have to let go of something else. Sacrifice can sometimes have a very negative tone to it, but that's not necessarily what it means. It means in this case, right, you have to let go or sacrifice your fear, your fear of not surviving, right? To raise up and receive a higher level of knowing. You can't hold this and hold whatever is trying to come through. You have to make the choice. You have to let it go. That's what sacrifice means, to let go. So let go of what you think you know about your hopes and wishes. There's more behind what we think we want. You know, a great exercise that we do in coaching work is we dig, right? We identify what we think we want. Like, I want the house. Well, what does the house represent? There's the dig, right? What does it represent? It represents owning something. Well, what does that represent? Well, that represents power and responsibility, right? So what do those give you, right? A sense of, you know, knowing something deep about myself, right? That's where the dig comes from. So the things that we think we want, unless we're digging in there and finding out the motivation, the reason why you think you want that, there's more. There's always more, right? So you might have to let go of the superficial to really receive the deeper understanding of what you want for the future. Physical action at this time. Yielding or surrendering is the only way to do it your own way and do it for the future. So again, the actions here are sort of a non-action, if you will. When you get Neptune as a card, the actions are more internalized and it's a non-action. It's like you're loosening the grip. You're surrendering down the ego, right? You're laying it down. So again, it's not very like forward momentum. It almost feels like a stopping or a yield, right? A slowing down of the energy. So yielding is the only way to do it your own way and do it for the future. Okay, so when the energy does not externalize, it internalizes. This means this is, you know, it might not be something you can share actually at this time. And again, this is something I see people where, you know, we've all struggled with this at this point, is you can lead the horse to water, you can't make them drink. You can't, if somebody is not going to respond in the way you'd like them to, it's time to let that go. Let that go. It's not, the only way you're going to do it is to let it go, to yield, to surrender to what is going on. Surrender to what you want to do for you. Remember, it's always been about you understanding yourself, you getting back in touch with yourself. That's really like the grand action here. You know, the outside world wants to tell you it's no, you have to conform, or you have to rebel, or you have to do something to the outside world, when really all you have to do is get the inner world aligned. And it's so, I know I feel people hesitate or freak out about this because it might not feel like it's enough, and that's okay if you have that feeling. That's, you know, that's one of the things that is true about the universe, is paradox. It doesn't always make sense, and yet real change happens when the change comes from within, and it's about you aligning to yourself. Let's go over outcomes for those who are choosing outcomes in Neptune in Aries in the 11th house of the future and friends and wishes. Your spiritual outcome at this time is the idealization of energies to meet the challenges of freedom. Right? So the highest ideal. So this is where the mind is focusing on. So idealization is one of those slippery slopes too. I mean, I've seen idealization, you know, end up becoming perfection, or becoming, delusion even. But we still need something to reach for. And even when I talk to my team about manifesting, they're always like, you need to dream bigger than you think to get what you want. So what they mean by that is that in the non-physical world, we need to create big dreams, huge dreams that feel overwhelming, in order to bring even just a piece of that into physical reality. And the best metaphor I have for this is, you remember in the movie Willy Wonka, where they have the giant chocolate bar, right? And to get it to go through the TV, they have to take this giant chocolate bar and shrink it down and send little pixels. And then this big, huge bar becomes this little tiny handheld sized bar when it gets to when it physically manifests on the other side. And that's a perfect metaphor for what happens when you visualize, materialize your dreams in the non-physical and you start moving it into the world of matter. It has to shrink down. It's less than. It's less than it is in the non-physical. In the non-physical, it could be like just mind-blowingly big. So that's idealization, technically, what we're talking about here, is that you need the highest vision. You need to see as big as you can, as perfect as you can, to bring it into this reality. So again, the idealization of energies to meet the challenges of freedom. You've got to dream big. You want to be free? See the world free, not just you. See the world free. See the galaxy as free. Like every being, everywhere, set free. Right? That's how big we dream. And that's how big we call in too. Mental outcome at this time. Confusion regarding your desires, regarding associations. Okay, confusing regarding your desires, regarding associations. So the word associations means either people you know or what you associate with freedom or what you associate with safety, right? So we've talked about that before. In this reading, it feels more like other people, though. Confusion regarding your desires, regarding association. So there is a struggle at play right now. And like I said, I think it's already there. I think we can already identify it. And that is, we want to be sovereign beings. We want to be free. We want to make our choice. And at the same time, there is an impulse coming from this little guy who's driven by fear and survival to also want to make choices for other people. Here, you do this because that's the choice I'm making, right? And so there is confusion here because we're fighting against two major forces inside of us, the ego and the higher self. And the higher self is the sovereign being. And like I said last week, sovereign beings understand that everything operates from a place of oneness. So how you treat others is how you treat yourself. How you treat yourself is how you treat others. It's the golden rule. So a sovereign being remembers that in order to remain sovereign, you must let all other beings be sovereign, right? It is a reflection back and forth. So there's that part of your mind that's like, right, that's what I am choosing. I am a co-creator with the universe. I am sovereign. I choose that. So I gotta let people make their choices. And then there's other point on the other side, right? Which is consciousness, and it's about survival. And they're like, their effing choices are stupid, right? Like, they need to make my choice. And if they made my choice, everything would be better. So there's this internal struggle that's creating confusion. And it's dependent on how often you're paying attention to this and kind of dumping out the negative and filling it with the positive, whether or not you stay in that struggle and have to constantly battle it, or you feel more peace and serene, understanding that you've made a conscious choice. Physical outcome at this time. Sacrifice resulting from the honesty and strength of your circle of friends. And I feel like this just kind of repeats what the last statement said. So there's the mental struggle, and then there is, in the physical plane, there is the letting go. So the sacrifice, remember, is letting go. It doesn't mean you're necessarily letting go of people. It might be that you're letting go of trying to control or cajole or manipulate or persuade people, right? Resulting from the honesty and strength of your circle of friends. Now, I've seen people who have let, the last year and a half tear them apart from other people, where they've just shut them down, shut them out, they're done, case closed, right? That's one way to go. That is a form of letting go. However, it doesn't feel necessarily in alignment with where you want to go. Maybe it does. Maybe it was time and it was the perfect move. Maybe, though, in other instances, it was rash and it was based on the fear, lack, insecurity, survival mechanism, right? Depends. Only we can answer that for ourselves. The letting go here, I feel, is really letting go of that need to control the environment. So on this last note, I just want to bring up again that there's only, we're like cameras in the way that a camera can only focus on one thing at once. It can focus on the subject or it can focus on the background. If it focuses on the background, which in this case would be the environment, the subject or the self goes blurry and becomes chaotic. And all the attention is back there, trying to control what you actually can't control. And on the other side, if the camera focuses on the subject, that's like the mind focusing on the self. Now this becomes orderly, it becomes peaceful, and this goes blurry. And it's actually not, it's interesting, but it doesn't become chaotic, it just becomes noise. It's just back there. It's, oh yeah, that's happening. But I'm focusing on me and I'm focusing on what my mind is doing and I'm focusing on what I intend and what I want and what I want to create, right? And you see all this, there's serenity, there's strength, there's grounding, there's peace. Back there is family and friends, and we can send them love and appreciation and hold space and listen, but at the same time, we're like, you do you, I'm over here doing me, right? And the honesty and strength come in when that is happening. When this is being focused on, honesty and strength is easy. Allowing others to be is easy. Making choices for yourself because you know what's right for you is easy. And allowing someone else to make their choices is also easy, right? You start to see them. You're seeing yourself as a sovereign being. You start to see them as a sovereign being. And instead of judging the choices they're making, you start to go, I wonder how that serves them, because they're choosing it. And they have a wise higher self, just like I do. So we choose catalysts to help us grow or bring something forward. So that's a really interesting choice. I wonder how that serves them, right? And then we let it go, because the focus has to come back here. So it's a lot of spiritual maturity work, but the beautiful thing is, the beauty is with this reading is, like I said, we're in a window where spiritual energy is dilating, more is coming through. I don't think this is going to be hard, and I don't really think that you who are listening to this, you might not be struggling with this, but this is the message that wants to come through. And it might help when you see someone struggle with it, or if you fall back into struggle, then you're like, oh, right, focusing on the self. Sovereign beings all around. People make their choices because it's serving them in some way. Let's watch and see what happens, right? So with that, sending you so much love and appreciation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. If you like it, please share and subscribe so that you can know the next time I release a new video. And until then, mwah. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I release a new video. Until then, stay magical.